I'm an anxious person. I'm a very nervous, anxious person.
Okay.
And now looking back, I realized that, since the first day I started acting, I've always been very, 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 very nervous.
You don't look anxious. You don't look nervous now.
I hide it very well.
Yeah, are you really?
I think I hide it really well.
So that means you're a good actress.
So maybe, yeah. So maybe the whole nervousness and the anxiety kind of like pushes.
So if you're able to pretend well,
Yes.
it makes you a good actor.
See, sometimes acting starts with pretending,
Yeah.
right? So for me,
okay.
that's kind of how I learn.
So maybe
acting.
so good actors are just good liars?
Maybe pretenders. Good pretenders.
Okay.
Especially when I first started, I have no idea how to read like a script, right? It's in Chinese, and then all the like triangles, like all the 三角形. I have no idea what those are. I couldn't even pronounce half of the characters.
Oh boy! So you still have that language
Yes.
barrier on top of that.
Yes,
Wow.
I'm good with everyday daily conversation, but some of the script, they're not as daily conversation, so it was a little bit harder for me. My agent, and she actually had to read out every single word, and then I would write it out.
Right when you write it out.
Like pinyin.
Oh, you would spell it out.
Yes, I spell it out on my script, and that's how I memorize it.
And then you go back and memorize whatever you spelled out.
Yes.
And then play it in a
Yes.
character in a different language.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
So
That
it
is
was it was actually very difficult at first.
that is intense.
It's still very difficult now, to
And
be honest.
I guess that adds to, seriously, I mean, the amount of success that you've built with all these, put in place. It's really amazing. But aside from your modeling and your acting, I understand you are somewhat of a love expert and love doctor of some sort.
No,
You have a podcast.
Yes, I have a podcast.
What is it called?
It's called Honest Hour with Christina.
Okay.
莫允文, the Honest Hour.
Honest Hour. Let's drop the pretend. No more acting for an
Yeah,
hour.
No more bullshit. Like
Okay.
Honest Hour. I
Honest
feel like,
Hour. So tell us about it. Where did the idea come from? What's it about?
I actually got the idea back in 2020. I feel like I was in a very dark place in my life. And that dark place kind of forced me to understand myself a little bit better. So I understand a lot more about my overall wellness and also my mental health. And I realized how mental health is so tabooed in our culture.
Yeah.
Especially like 4 or 5 years ago. It was not talked about.
Yeah.
Anxiety, depression, whatever. None of these were ever talked about. Trauma, it was never talked about.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of my mentor, his name is Phil Chen, and he would help me, basically have conversations with myself. Like, why am I the way I am? Like, why am I so hurt? Where are my emotions are coming from? He was actually the one that inspired me to do a podcast.
Okay.
And share my experience, basically. That's how it started. It started from season 1 in 2020. I talked about a lot of my childhood trauma. I talked about some relationship trauma, self-victimization, getting bullied when I was in middle school and high school. A lot of these things that I feel like is very relatable to a lot of people.
So why? Where did the challenges come from?
I wouldn't say I'm the most confident kid in the whole room. Especially with our family moving around a lot, I'm always the new kid, the new kid in school. I'm always adjusting to a new class. And then my personality, it's also like I'm a little bit more shy, I'm a little bit more nervous. So I don't know. So growing up, it was never easy to make friends.
No.
And then also switching from school to school, culture to culture, kids are just mean.
Okay.
Kids are mean.
Yeah. Well, but
Yeah.
I guess growing pains are
Yes.
relatable to good-looking people too, right?
Thank you.
And then, but in your podcast, I understand you talk a lot about relationships
Yes.
as well. How to give it, how to receive
How
it.
to give it, how to receive it, how to understand it. What kind of love do we want? How do we love? Etc. So that's why I wanted to talk about love language. That's one of the episodes that I have on season 3 is about love language.
Love language.